Definition is one of the most useful forms of writing because it helps the reader to fully understand the concepts or ideas in your essays or reports. In your writing, you may be using technical words or abstract concepts that the reader is unfamiliar with. For example, a technical word like memorandum in business, which some people may not be familiar with, or more abstract ideas like happiness, a word that different people have personal feelings about the meaning of the word. Now, in order to define a word or term, the first step is to put it into a category or a class. For example, biology is a branch of science. Poetry is a type of literature, and envy is a feeling. Now, once you've established the class that this word or term belongs to, it's important to try to show some important or essential qualities or characteristics of this thing that makes it different from the rest of the class. For example, biology is a science, but what makes it different from the other sciences? So, for example, biology studies life and living organisms, and it also examines how these organisms consume energy. Or poetry, for example. How is poetry different from other forms of literature? Well, poetry uses stanzas, and it also often will use rhythm and rhyme. These are essential qualities of poetry. Another very useful way of defining a word or term is by giving an example, of course. Now, sometimes an example will be straightforward, like Mount Fuji is an example of a volcano. Other times it may be a little bit more difficult. An abstract idea like happiness or success, you may have to give a situational example that the reader can identify with. How about enthusiasm? So the energy of the fans in a football stadium when their team has just scored an important goal is an example of enthusiasm. And the fourth method of making a definition clear is something we call negation, which simply means showing what a word is not in order to explain what it is. For example, a whale is not a fish. A whale is a large mammal that lives in the sea. Or, success is not a large bank account. Instead, it is a feeling of achievement and satisfaction with yourself. So, following these 4 steps is a useful way of making a clear definition. And if you've watched the video on essay format, we've talked a lot about the hook in your essay. Starting your essay with a definition of a concept is often a useful way of getting the reader's attention and introducing your topic in an interesting way. So if you'd like to practice writing definitions, follow the link at the end of this video.